Weapons hot and one-liners at the ready, recruits. This ain't just some summer blockbuster vacation. This is the real deal. You've been chosen as part of an elite task force for the month of action. Now when those bullets start to fly and everything around you is up in flames, don't you lose your nerve. Remember who you are. You're the toughest, craziest, most resourceful sons of bitches to ever lace them up. We don't wait for backup and we damn sure don't retreat. Now strap your asses in and get ready for the drop. Oh, and one more thing. Before you pull that trigger, tell them John Mortis sent you.
Hello, Scream Demons, and welcome to the Screams from the Basement podcast.
This is the scariest horror podcast on this side of the Black Lagoon. Screams from the Basement discusses the best double features the genre has to offer.
We also interview the industry's finest that make our screams become nightmares. I am your action-fueled co-host, Casey.
And I am Sam, the damned missing in action Norris, and let's get screaming. Never mind, I'm not in any way related to Chuck Norris.
Character Chuck Norris, not human Chuck Norris.
Character Chuck Norris, not actual person Chuck Norris.
No, because then you'd be dead. All right, well, let's talk about today's episode as we are doing our month of action. Come on, Sam. Get it there.
We can live.
We can live. We are so thankful to the Flicks and Friends podcast and the wider podcast group that is covering Month of Action here for the month of July. I believe there's about 20 to 30 podcasts that are doing different versions of Month of Action, whether that be one episode like we are doing here, kind of a little bit of a break from formula, mixing in the horror, or just covering a Month of Action entirely for the month of July. So super excited to take part in that. And you'll hear a couple bumpers here at the beginning and ending of this episode where you can find out everything about the Month of Action, brother.
Hell yeah. Also, quick shout out to the Flicks and Friends podcast specifically, because their just latest episode that they did, 4-month of action, was on K-pop Demon Hunters, which, if you watch this show, you know I fucking love that movie, and it's a great episode, great dissection of the movie. So check out Flicks and Friends and their episode on K-pop Demon Hunters. It's rad.
Well, Sam, what is the rad double feature that we are covering for Month of Action here on Screams from the Basement?
Well, we are covering 2 giant robot fight movies. We are covering Stuart Gordon's 1990 masterpiece, Robot Jox. And, of course, 2013's Guillermo del Toro flick, Pacific Rim. Now, this episode is going to be interesting because I feel like, Casey, you and I have not necessarily opposing thoughts on these movies, but I think if you asked either one of us what our favorite from this double feature is, we're definitely picking different movies.
We are 100% picking different movies, and I think that's what makes this podcast so great, because how often do we ever agree on what's the best movie we're covering in a double feature?
Right.
And honestly, they're not too far off. I like both of these movies. Spoiler alert, you don't have to listen for the next 2 hours. We both like these movies. Spoilers. But actually, this episode was on our list of episode ideas for a while now. It was something we wanted to cover because both fall into the genre space. Maybe not 100% horror. Like Robot Jox is a big punchy-punchy robot sci-fi movie.
It's Rock'em Sock'em Robots, the movie, essentially, but, you know.
It's Rocky IV with robots, and Pacific Rim is a giant, it's a giant kaiju versus robots movie. It's a 12-year-old boy's favorite movie ever. So yeah, we're like, both of these fall into genre space. They're both directed by horror icons, Stuart Gordon, Guillermo del Toro. So like it just made sense to to cover these on the show at some point. And when we got asked to participate in Month of Action, we're like, we got some action. We got some punch 'em robot action.
And then my dumbass thought that Month of Action was in June, so when we landed all those interviews for The Furious, I was like, hey, we're really doing Month of Action. And then everybody promptly told me that I was a month too early, and I was like, hey, we're pre-gaming Month of Action.
What a pre-game that is, The Furious.
Yeah. Check it out at the State Theater this weekend if you can. It's Casey will be there Saturday night. I probably will not make it, unfortunately, but
I'll be there like Tim Robinson in that one sketch where like he sees things with his mind and he's like I'll be doing that the entire time watching The Furious because that movie's amazing.
It's so good.
We're talking Robot Jocks. We're talking Pacific Rim. We're talking some punch 'em robot action. Sam, before we get into the first movie, which is Robot Jocks, I think both of our introduction into this space of movies and genres, specifically like sci-fi, of like giant robots or giant kaijus, was probably Power Rangers, if I'm not mistaken. Is that your introduction into this world as it is mine?
Oh yeah, I would definitely say like Power Rangers was one of those shows that like, it's not a horror show, but I feel like as a kid, like that show had monsters, it had giant robots, like a lot of the like sci-fi horror fantasy, kung fu action, like so much of like the things that I feel like you and I love can be probably traced back to Power Rangers.
100%.
In a way that like, I mean, one of our first interviews that we did for this show was with a creature actor and director, Alan Maxon, and I think he was almost a little offended when I compared his movie to like a Power Rangers thing, and I obviously like he wasn't actually offended, but he was just curious to dig in, and I was like, I don't mean that in a bad way. I grew up on Power Rangers. I still watch old episodes of Power Rangers and I love it. Like it's one of my favorite things, and so yeah, movies like this are very much in my wheelhouse, very much in your wheelhouse. Like Power Rangers, you talk to a lot of horror fans of our age, and like Power Rangers was a seminal thing for us, like I
Sam,
love it.
you're just getting me itchy to cover Power Rangers on this show now.
Let's cover Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie.
The movie with the remake from like
with the 2017 remake.
2017. Yeah. Oh
hell yeah.
Yeah, now we're Month of Action next year. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, that might be, yeah.
But yeah, that was my introduction, was the Megazord. The Megazord is a giant mech.
Yeah.
Mech fighting machine that fights kaiju. Like every episode of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers ends with a kaiju fight.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, when I started writing like stories and different things, like I literally wrote a story that was kind of a ripoff of Cats and Dogs, but it turned into a Power Rangers riff halfway through because, like, in order to defeat the cat, the mouse got into a giant mecha suit and fought the cat. Like, mech suits are just, like, a big part of, like, who I am as a person. So, yeah, I love that stuff.
Same with kaiju. I remember this comic strip I wrote in, like, elementary school, and it was called Duck Boy. And it was just this normal kind of kid who lived with his parents that were, they all had like different shaped heads. Like Duck Boy had a triangle head, his dad had like a square head, and his mom had, I don't remember, like an octagon head or something. But he was always picked on, and then he was picked on by a bully, and then the bully got like super powered somehow and like turned into giant kaiju because he was a chicken. He was a giant like kaiju chicken and picked on him.
I love that.
So yeah, kaijus are our jam. Giant robots are our jam. And that's why we're talking Robot Jocks in Pacific Rim. So Sam, let's jump into it in our first film in our double feature with 1990's Robot Jocks, released November 21st, 1990, directed by Stuart Gordon, written by Stuart Gordon and Joe Halderman. The movie stars Gary Graham as Achilles, the all-American robot jock fighter, Anne Marie Johnson as Athena, who is the test tube robot jock. She's a Tubi. She's a Tubi fighter. You can
Tubi.
also probably watch this movie on Tubi and then have your mind blown that you're watching a Tubi on Tubi. And also Paul Kozlow as the Russian Alexander, who is the ultimate heel in a ruthless killing robot jock machine. Sam, what is Robot Jocks, though? What is this movie all about?
In a dystopian future where men are still fucking pricks and women are seen as baby factories, we're solving global conflict by pitting two men against each other in giant mechas to have a chainsaw dick measuring contest. A woman genetically engineered to fight is ready to take on the world of robot jocks, but will the patriarchy let her? Pfft, no.
No, it's 1990.
God damn it. This movie has so much potential, Casey.
Sam, I could have summed it up. I had the VHS copyright in front of me. I could have summed it up with the tagline of this movie, which is 2 men, 2 machines, 2 wild. Robot jocks. So this
Robot
is
jocks.
I believe both of our second time watches on Robot Jocks. Both of us picked up that Arrow Video box set, the Empire of Screams box set, where Robot Jocks was one of the big movies featured in that. Still, highly recommend if you are going to watch Robot Jocks. That's the way to watch it, because that Blu-ray still blows my mind how crisp and beautiful that transfer looks. It's incredible, and that's the way to watch this movie.
And it is jam-packed with extras, like
so many.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first thing I dove into in that box set was the Robot Jocks Blu-ray and tore through those special features. There's so much stuff back in that.
Yeah, and it's just like you said, it's a beautiful movie. Like the filmmaking on display in Robot Jocks is just fantastic. Like the use of miniatures and all the set designs, like it's futuristic, it's still dystopian, but like there's also like a lot of just cool sets that you're like, oh, I want to be there. I want to be in the room where they're suiting up in the mechas and like all that kind of stuff. Like there's so much visual filmmaking on display to just love in this movie.
Yeah. And it never feels like cheesy sci-fi futuristic either. Like it all feels like pretty real world, but in a science fiction type of way, if that makes any sense. It doesn't feel like over the top in any way. It feels like, oh no, this could probably happen.
Oh yeah, like I think like story-wise this is very, especially where we're at now. This is a very plausible movie.
Pretty sure one plot point of this movie literally just happened within the last like 2 years.
Yeah. There's been a lot of that. Yeah.
I will say this at the top. This movie takes place 50 years post-nuclear holocaust, where war is outlawed. War is just gone. War does not exist after World War III.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, that was probably too much. So now how do you solve all world conflicts? Because we're not a unified world under one rule. We're still all these different countries. How do you solve those disputes? You build giant robots and have them punch each other for the rights to Alaska.
Yeah.
And here I am in 2026 pleading to our world leaders. This is the way.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, it's still a very, like, machismo, like, my dick's bigger than yours competition kind of thing.
Literally,
but at the very least, it's just two dudes. It's like, okay, yeah, that's better than thousands or millions of deaths, you know? Like,
also, the likelihood of the controller of the robot jock dying is not very high.
No, unless you're facing Alexander, and then it's, yeah.
Yeah, unless you're facing the crazy person who is hellbent on just killing all the other robot jock fighters.
Right.
Because the movie opens with Alexander killing a man after this guy yields in a fight. He's like,
Yeah.
Literally, like, waving a white flag, I'm done, match is over, you win. And Alexander's like, no, this isn't over until one of us is dead. And,
And he
like, stomps on
stomps
the
on
guy
him. Yeah.
with his giant robot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great opening because it kind of shows you exactly what the movie is, for better and worse. Like,
Yeah.
there's not much to this movie that this opening scene doesn't lay out for you. Like, this is a movie about men being assholes to each other. And being assholes to females, like women too. But like, it's, if you're looking for something that's trying to take the patriarchy down a notch, this is not the movie. This movie is 100% unadulterated. Like,
This should have
men
been the
fight.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this whole movie surrounds with the U.S. and Russia fighting over control of the Alaskan territory.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that like literally just happened with like the last 2 years. There was a dispute about Alaska between the U.S. and Russia.
Mm-hmm. So what's funny too is like it's this thing where it's like, oh, if you win 10 battles in a row, you get your freedom. Which I found funny because like 2 years later, you get the Mortal Kombat video game. And I'm not entirely sure where the lore evolved into, like, if you lose 10 tournaments in a row, you forfeit your territory or your realm to whichever realm wins. Like, that's the whole Mortal Kombat thing. That's why you have tournaments. And it's very interesting because as also a very much grew up a Mortal Kombat person and have fallen back into that, it's just interesting to see those parallels, and maybe, Ed Boon watched Robot Jox before developing Mortal Kombat and was like, yeah, that seems like a solid rule. Because like, while I'm watching this, I was thinking to myself like, well, that's from Mortal Kombat, and then I thought about the years and I'm like, no, that's from Robot Jox, but Mortal Kombat might have taken pieces from this.
Not only did Pacific Rim take stuff from Robot Jox,
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat did.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we should try and get Ed Boon on the show sometime so we can pick his brain about it. But yeah. Yeah.
I wanna jump into right away. We get introduced to our quote unquote hero of the movie, Achilles. Achilles is our main character here. He's like one of the main U.S. Robot Jock fighters.
Yeah.
Never like explicitly said like, oh, he's the best, but he's like a top guy. He's a top guy.
Yeah, it's like it's implied that he is. I mean, because the thing is if you win 5 or 10 battles in a row, you win your freedom. Like, you don't have to fight as a robot jock anymore. And in that case, I mean, he's won 9 in a row, so I think it's safe to assume that, yeah, like, he's one of the better ones. But you're right, it never explicitly says it. It just kind of lets you, like, it lets you know that through context clues, through, like, the world that this story builds, and I kind of love that.
Yeah. This doesn't have... Jumping a little bit ahead to Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim has he's the best of the best, and we gotta bring him out of retirement scene.
Yeah.
It has that. It literally has that scene in it. This movie does not, and I appreciate that. I appreciate Stuart Gordon for not going full Rambo cliche of he's the best of the best. He's the only chance we got. It's like, no, he's just a fighter. He's just a fighter, and literally, he's kind of a coward when it comes down to it. Because in this fight, it's Achilles representing the United States. It's Alexander representing Russia. They're literally outside in the desert fighting their giant mech suit battle. Mm-hmm. Also, how dangerous is this? There's crowds. There's people that presumably paid money to show up to a giant robot fight. I mean, I would.
But they signed waivers, Casey. So.
They signed waivers, and they're just out there in the open with these giant robot jocks. What do you think is the number one like thing at the like souvenir stand at a robot jock fight?
Oh God, that's probably action figures of your favorite mecha suits, like your favorite robot jock.
Has to.
Yeah, like I could
Like
totally see kids having like little action
Yeah.
figures of their favorite like robot jocks. Yeah.
Like in our universe, we have like little green army men and like GI Joes. So you got
Oh
to
yeah.
imagine there's
Yeah, 100%. Oh yeah,
the
I didn't
action
even think about
figures.
like the GI Joe comparison, but yeah, like that's their those are their heroes. They're like real life heroes that like obviously you make like a lot of people do make toys out of like the real life heroes. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I got to imagine a few people in that crowd had a like giant claw foam
A giant
finger.
foam claw.
Yeah, it's just the claw but foam.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Just a foam plasma cannon.
Yeah. A foam chainsaw dick that you
A
can buy
foam chainsaw dick, yeah.
at the souvenir stand.
A foam chainsaw strap on. Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing sexual.
Nothing
But
sexual.
during this fight, Alexander's about to take a shot at the crowd. He's ready to like just go full nutso crazy person and literally just like kill the crowd.
Yeah, he shoots his like thing. It goes wildly off course or whatever, and here's the thing: Achilles is a coward. I don't like Achilles very much, and we'll get into why. But this is the one like truly heroic thing that he does in this
Yeah.
movie is he jumps in front of it to attempt to save the crowd. And at first, it kind of seems like it worked. Like he blocks the missile, he takes the full brunt of it. But the power of it knocks him back into the stands. And I mean, he might have saved a few people, but he doesn't save many. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, they say when he falls, he kills over 300 people in his fall. It seems like that probably should be a lot. That number should be more. I don't know.
It may be, but also like if I'm being honest, the grandstands in this kind of look like my fairground from my hometown in Iowa. So I'm like, I mean, he probably only killed like 50 people tops.
Those were full though. These were full here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. But yeah.
But in that fight, Achilles loses the fight, so we think.
Mm-hmm.
Only to find out basically the judges of the fight call it a draw. They call it a draw. It's a wash. We're going to sudden death. Like we need to schedule another fight because Achilles technically lost, but also Alexander was aiming for
cheated.
the crowd.
Yeah. Like I think it was like he used a projectile, like because they have rules. Like the first round is like projectile weapons because you're at a distance, and then you get closer. It's almost like an old school duel, like where you take the 30 paces, and then if both people miss, you pace forward 10, and you try again, and if you both miss, you pace. Like there's like different levels to it, and I think the ruling is that Alexander used projectiles in a round where projectiles were forbidden.
Yeah, he used a long distance weapon in a short, close hand-to-hand
close combat. Yeah. So, yeah, it turns into a draw. It's a whole situation where they're like, we're rescheduling the fight. And Achilles refuses to do it because he's a giant coward.
Because he's a giant coward. He's like, I've fulfilled my 10 fights that I'm contractually obligated to. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, you didn't finish 10 fights. Like this fight is still going. It's a draw. And he delivers one of my favorite lines of this movie because it shows what kind of character Achilles is. He says, I can't read, but I'm not dumb.
Yeah.
To not having read his contract. And I'm like, I can't read, but I'm not dumb.
But that's the thing. That is something I do want to bring up. Here's where my big issue with Robot Jox comes in. This is kind of at the heart of why I like this movie, but I don't love it. It's clearly trying to have some kind of social commentary. Like in all of the official plot synopsis on the back of the Blu-ray, it clearly says this is a dystopian world. That implies that it is a less than perfect world, right? Like,
correct.
That there are bad things that are going on. You have comments like he can't read. His brother-in-law, when he goes to his sister's house after he quits, is like a professional reader. Like he reads for people, essentially. So you get the idea that reading is like a special skill that only certain people have. You see all these propaganda posters where it's like, do your part, and it has pregnant women plastered all over the like streets. So it's like very much like a, oh, women are here to up the population. Not everybody is allowed to read. Like, and these are all very interesting and, if we're being honest, in today's world, pretty prescient takes on like what we might be heading towards. But the movie stops engaging with that about halfway through and just turns into the nonsense B movie that, let's be honest, I'd rather it just be that the whole time. If it's going to introduce these concepts in this early thing, if it's going to introduce, we'll get to her, Athena, as this like person who is absolutely able to step in and fill the shoes of Achilles. Like, this movie sets all of that up and then walks it back just so we can have the two dudes fight at the end. And it's one of those things that like, it drives me nuts. And it didn't drive me nuts as much the first time I watched it, but on this rewatch, I was like, why are we setting all this up if we're not doing anything with it? And I found myself getting a little more frustrated with it on this watch, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Same here. I had the same response. The first time I watched this, I was like, yeah, Robot Jocks, this movie's awesome. And then watching it this time, I had the same problem the first time where I'm like, no, Athena should be the hero by the end of the movie. Yeah, should have a giant heroic moment. She does not get that in this movie.
Yeah.
And the more I sat with Achilles, I'm like, nah, this guy sucks.
Yeah, like,
I don't want to root for this guy. This guy
he's
sucks.
really sexist in one of the very first scenes he has in the movie, where he's like making sexual remarks at Athena, and you're like, is this the guy we're really supposed to be rooting for?
Well, yeah. And when she's about to take him out because he's ready to come back into he literally comes, so he tries to go away.
Yeah.
And they start training the tubies, the test tube humans that are trained their entire life, built to be a robot jock fighter. And Athena's the best of the best there. Yep. But then Achilles is like, nah, I'm going to actually come back and fight.
Yeah. For no reason other than he doesn't want Athena to do it. And it's just like,
the movie kind of shapes it at like, oh, he's got feelings for her. He doesn't want her to end up getting killed by Alexander. But no, it's just he's like, no, I'm the better fighter. These tubies can't be better than me. He straight up lays a smooch on her when she is not asking for it, and it's gross. And I'm like, no, I don't like this guy. I like Alexander more than him by the end of the movie.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. Here's the thing with this movie, Stuart Gordon and Joe Haldeman fought a lot in the creation of Robot Jocks. Both had two very different ideas of what this movie should be. Mm-hmm. One wanted it to be this dystopian movie where it was focused kind of more on like adult elements, adult themes. Right. And the other wanted it to be a Saturday morning cartoon like Transformers.
Right. I can guess which one Stuart Gordon wanted.
Which one was Stuart Gordon?
He's probably the more social commentary one, right?
No, Stuart Gordon wanted to make Transformers.
Really? Okay, yes, that kind of surprises me.
He wanted to make the funny Saturday morning cartoon. Hence why this movie has a PG rating. Mm-hmm. He thought this movie was for kids. Rest in peace, Stuart Gordon, one of the greats. He thought this movie was very suitable for kids. It is not. There's nudity in this PG movie. Yeah. But it's interesting. Like Stuart Gordon, who is a director who many times would focus on social commentary in his work.
That really genuinely surprises me. Especially when you hear his frequent collaborators talk about him and the things he was passionate about and what a compassionate and kind person he was. Like, it just seems weird that he would set up these elements and then drop them halfway through the movie.
It also makes sense if he just wanted to make a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, we have to talk about, at this point, this is the last Empire Pictures movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is the last of it, which is Charles Band's company from the 1980s. Reanimator came out of this, From Beyond, Dolls, throwing out the three big Stuart Gordon ones that were during this time. But, I mean, Charlie was Ghoulies, came out through Empire Pictures. So this was Full Moon before Full Moon. This was Charlie's big theatrical thing. And towards the end kind of came into the video store. But this movie ran out of money. It was the largest budget Empire picture. One of many, many reasons why Empire Pictures went bankrupt.
Yep.
I think it's fascinating. This movie comes out a full year after the first Full Moon movie, which is Puppet Master, in 1989.
Yeah.
Comes out through... Who released this? Epic Home Video was the ones that picked up the rights to many of the Empire stuff. Helped finish this movie, push it over to the finish line when it released in 1990. But this was intended for like a 1988 release, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense because it does kind of feel... It feels like this movie peters out instead of ends on like a big bang. You know what I mean? Like the final fight is fun, but it's not that different than the fights you get earlier in the movie, right? Like it's kind of one of those things where I get what they're going for, but you can tell they ran out of money. Like the scope of this thing is maybe a little bigger than the budget that they had.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a bad thing. Like I think it adds a certain charm to it because it's very handmade filmmaking. Like the stop motion in this is incredible. Like it's a ton of fun, and like all the miniatures and sets and stuff, like there's a lot of love in the craftsmanship of this movie.
David Allen was the special effects artist that worked on the stop motion and miniatures. He was the go-to guy for Empire. One of the best stop motion creators ever. The image of Full Moon of Blade running off the bed and then jumping off and continuing to run. That's him. Yep. That's that guy. So, yeah.
Legend. Absolute legend. Yeah.
And this is one of his, I think this is one of his crowning achievements is Robot Jox. I think this movie just looks incredible. I think the stop motion's impeccable.
Agreed.
Compare this with Pacific Rim, which uses mostly digital, some practical in there. But comparing the two, I'm like, this still looks incredible.
Oh, still yeah, 100%. And I mean, like, obviously we'll get into Pacific Rim. Like, I like Pacific Rim a lot. I like when you can tell that they're using miniatures that are blended with CG more so than when it's entirely CG. Like, yeah.
So jumping back into the movie, I found this very curious of after the fight where it's called a draw, that both the US and Russian teams are like in a bar partying together. And I'm like, maybe that's kind of showing like the somewhat world peace of all this. Like, we're not going to like hold grudges or rivalries to each other.
Yeah.
And we'll just settle it with Robot Jox.
Yeah. It does feel like it is a dystopia. It is like not a great world to be living in, but there are some things about it that are like, oh, this is preferable. Like, it does feel like for the most part, these Robot Jox are leaving it on the field and not bringing that outside of that battle with them. And I do like that concept of like, I don't know, there's a weird push and pull of like, it reminds me of the opening of like Kong Skull Island, where you have the Japanese fighter pilot and like the young John C. Reilly character who are on opposing sides of this war, and they find themselves on an island together and they become friends. You know, like there's something kind of cool about recognizing that even in a global conflict, we are all human and we all like have to coexist on this world.
Yeah.
And that's one of the cool things about this movie that I think it does really well.
One of the things I am not sure if it does really well, because it kind of rushes this subplot in and then rushes it back out, is the spy element of this movie.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So there's two characters on the United States side that we got to talk about. One is Tex, who's a
Yes.
former robot jock fighter. He was, again, kind of like Achilles, one of the best. Did his 10 fights, became like an American hero by the end of it.
And now he's just a coach.
He's a coach now. He's Achilles' trainer. He's trying to help find the next Achilles in the tubies, in the test tube characters.
Mm-hmm. And this guy is villain coded from the moment he steps 100%. On screen. Like, you,
as soon as
100%.
They say there's a spy, you're like, okay, that's that guy.
It's that guy, yeah, 100%.
The other character that we have is Dr. Matsumoto, who is one of the designers of the robot jocks. He's kind of like the lead engineer behind it.
Yeah, he builds the suits and programs the weapons and gives the briefs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And we get set up right away that, Russia's been winning these fights because there's a spy in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of Cold War stuff thrown in here too. But again, right away, we're like, there's a spy in the rank, and it kind of lingers on the doctor.
Yeah, and it's no, and
it's
not the
kind of setting up it's going to be him. Immediately, as soon as you meet Tex, though, you're like, nah, it's this guy. And Tex straight up confronts the doctor.
Yep.
About being, and the doctor's like, nah, I'm 2 steps ahead of you, dude. You're the spy.
Right.
I'm going to record you, and I'm going to
refusing. Yeah, to
I'm going to record you.
The schematics.
I'm going to hide another weapon that you don't know about yet in the fight. Even if you take me out of it, I'm still literally 2 steps ahead of you.
Yep. Oh yeah, and I do like this confrontation scene, because of the performances from the 2 actors. I genuinely think that this is even though the setup for this scene is very lackluster, it's just very we talked about this earlier in the movie. We're just going to come back to it because we need some dramatic stakes going into the 3rd act. I still really like this scene. I think it's one of the moments where the movie really pops, and it's probably the best. It's probably the best acting in the whole movie.
100%.
Is the scene between these two, because let's be honest.
It's not the Alexander versus Achilles fight at the end. That's for sure.
No, and it's not anything with Achilles. This guy is not the guy who plays Achilles is not bad, but he's also not. He's not a super charismatic dude. He's just kind of there.
He has character actor vibes for sure.
Yeah.
But not a lead in a sci-fi action movie.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is something that this shares with Pacific Rim. I'll give you that.
Yes. Thank you. So now when we get to our 3rd act, Athena is basically, she's taken out Achilles. Achilles, like we said, total dick, decides to come back and fight for some reason. He's a dick. Even though Athena has clearly won, she should be the pick to fight in Robot Jocks, and no one's letting her. So she straight up drugs Achilles, takes his suit, takes his helmet, sneaks into the Robot Jock, and is ready to fight. And at first, especially the first time I watched this movie, where Achilles is like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. We better just make sure she wins. I was like, yeah. That's a good arc for this guy.
Yeah, he becomes the Tex character, but without being a piece of shit, or at least you think, you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe he's going to learn his lesson, and he is just going to be the mentor to Athena that she needs in this battle. And he is for about 3 minutes of screen time.
Yeah. Honestly, when we get into this 3rd act, and then it's revealed that when Athena's in the mech suit, that there's another weapon in there, and the doctor left a video that shows Tex shooting him somehow. Yeah. I don't know how this whole recording got recorded by the doctor after he died.
It got recorded, and then somehow he knew, so it was when Athena does the secret weapon, it shows Tex's thing, I guess.
I don't know. He's a smart guy. Strange. He figured it out.
Sure.
And it shows Tex, and Tex, again, cowardly, just yeets himself
down the elevator shaft.
Down an elevator shaft and died, and that's kind of the end of that story.
Yep. It's such a weird, really? That's what we're doing?
Yeah.
And And then, of course, you have Athena getting beat by Alexander, essentially. Like, she's down, and Achilles comes out and finishes the fight for her. And the whole time, even the first time I watched this, even after Achilles comes in and like starts battling from the mecha, like what's left of the mecha, I still was like, well, Athena's going to come back in and have some kind of moment of like they're working together to defeat Alexander.
Yeah.
And that never happens. She is just once like the last you see of Athena, she's just battered and bruised being pulled out of a mecha. That's it. That's the end of that character's arc. And it is so goddamn frustrating.
Yeah, there needed to be a moment in the third act where like Achilles has been beat up. He's out, like Alexander's about ready to deliver the final punch in his robot suits, but Achilles like can't reach to put an arm up or something, and she comes in and like puts the arm up and like has a character moment, has the heroic triumph, and then they team up to defeat Alexander.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have that. Instead, we get the two just punching each other. They fly off into space. I'll admit, a lot of this is like really fun.
It is, yeah.
Punch like robot stuff, if you take out all the character stuff.
Yeah.
Where you just watch two robots punch each other. They fly all the way into outer space, have a fight. They come crashing back down to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander's suit is super cool. He's like in this like four-legged mech suit and whips out a chainsaw dick.
Yeah. Yeah, his final mecha is really cool, actually. Like it's pretty. The mecha designs in this are just phenomenal, and very very memorable. Like yeah.
I mean, this movie literally ends with a chainsaw dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
Figuratively and metaphorically, where both of the robots have these chainsaw.
Yeah.
Dicks.
And like Achilles like uses a disconnected arm to fire at Alexander's mecha, and he takes him down. And then they're both not in a mecha, and they're just beating the shit out of each other with these like metal poles. and the I guess the point that this whole movie was trying to make is that just because you're a robot jock doesn't mean you have to end a battle in death.
We can live.
We can live. And then they do the
literally ends on the American and Russian thumbs. Full fist bump, explosion, credits, end of movie. Kind of awesome. Also, 100% all world peace ends after this. Like, we go to World War IV right after this movie ends.
Oh, 100%. Because this fight meant nothing. It didn't solve anything at all. Yeah. Yeah, that's Robot Jocks. I don't know.
I have a couple more things to throw out here before we get to our final thoughts. Just kind of trivia stuff to throw in here. Jeffrey Combs makes a cameo. We didn't talk about Jeffrey Combs' little cameo. He's one of the spectators of the initial fight between Achilles and Alexander. Also, they're betting on the fights, which I thought was really fun.
Yeah.
When Achilles goes to visit his brother, his nephew is played by Jason Marsden, who, of course, is Binks in Hocus Pocus. He's Max Goof in a Goofy movie.
Yeah, interesting. I did not realize that.
One of his first roles.
Nice.
Also, there's a slogan that the U.S. side says throughout this movie. Instead of, like, may the force be with you, like from Star Wars, they say crash and burn.
Yeah, which is strange.
But also, a pseudo-sequel was released called Crash and Burn. Or in some markets, Robot Jocks Part 2.
Really?
Was released straight to video in 1990 from Film Moon. Also features robots fighting. And then there's also another unrelated to Crash and Burn, pseudo sequel to Robot Jocks called Robot Wars, released from Full Moon in 1993.
Interesting.
So Charlie Band would literally rip off his own movies, not once but twice.
Interesting. Also, it appears Crash and Burn has the great Bill Moseley in it, or Bill Moseley in it. So
Barbara Crampton is in either Crash and Burn or Robot Wars. I think she's in Crash and Burn.
I don't see her on the Letterboxd, but Letterboxd isn't always.
Maybe she's in Robot Wars.
She's in Robot Wars. Yeah. Okay, both of these are going on the watch list. What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I want to say David Allen worked on at least
All
one
of
of
them?
those.
Okay.
If not both.
That's awesome.
I've not watched them either. Those are like two big Full Moon blind spots for him.
You know what? This is going to sound crazy, but if they just do the robot fighting and stop trying to do the social commentary thing, I might like those a little more than I like Robot Jocks. I don't know.
Well, what are your thoughts on Robot Jocks, and how many giant chainsaw robot dicks are you giving this?
Oh man, just because it's giant chainsaw robot dicks, I want to give it as many as possible. But I do have issues with this movie. I really love about half of it, and I love the half of it that is just a big dumb action movie. I would love the social commentary more if they actually followed through on it, but it just doesn't. Like it's frustrating in the fact that it kind of just leaves its themes hanging for just a bitchin' robot time, which I'm like, then just have a bitchin' robot time. So I'm only giving this 2.5 chainsaw penises out of possible 5, but I still recommend it for the fun robot stuff, for the stop motion, for the like visual creativity that this movie has. It is 100% worth a watch. Just know it can be a little frustrating thematically. That's my warning to people. But Casey, what about you?
Yeah, I think Robot Jocks I think it's a stunning movie, a stunning sci-fi action film where I think all of the effects still hold up to this day. The reason you go watch a movie called Robot Jocks, when you look at that cover, whether it be the VHS, the Blu-ray, the poster, you want to watch giant robots fighting each other. This movie does have that, and it looks incredible. So I think like what the movie sets out for, it accomplishes it. Again, I think there's a lot of problems with character stuff, especially with who ends up being the hero by the end of the movie. Should not be Achilles, and it should be Athena. I think anyone watching this movie probably agrees upon that. Yeah, I think this movie's a ton of fun, though. I have a blast watching it. Watch that Arrow Video Blu-ray. Watch the special features. Dive into this movie. It's a blast. It's a ton of fun. It's Robot Jocks. So I'm giving this 3. I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
It went
That's
down
fair.
half a star for my first watch, but still think it's I still think it's really great.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right. Well, before we get to our next Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie, let's hear from us. Help! The Basement Boys are trapped in an abandoned amusement park and need your help. The best way to help the fun-loving horror fiends is by joining Patreon. By joining our Patreon, you get exclusive bonus perks that cannot be found anywhere else, including monthly bonus episodes, vlogs from our horror collections, and exclusive movie reviews. Each subscription to Patreon helps the Basement Boys escape Old Man Marley's amusement park, and you can join by scanning the QR code on screen or visiting patreon.com/screamsfromthebasement. Thank you to all of our patrons for helping to support the podcast. Sam, what do you have up on Patreon right now? I have my latest vlog up right now, which I shared. I'll grab one of them here. Give a little tease. I did a little unboxing of some Army of Darkness action figures, including the Pit Witch, which is on screen right now.
Love that. That's awesome. Yeah, I just posted about 450 words on Lee Cronin's The Mummy. I mean, we'll get to it in Doobie Doing. I didn't like it. at all,
Go to Patreon and find out why.
go to Patreon and find out why. So I'll skip that and doobie doing because that's really all I have to say. Go to the Patreon, read my thoughts, comment because I know I'm not necessarily in the minority. I know, but it's a pretty
On this show,
divisive.
Well,
It's
there's
yeah.
no minority. There's two of us, but
Yeah, exactly. I feel like this is one that has gotten like pretty divisive reactions. And I don't know. It didn't work for me, but you can find out why on Patreon. And I've got some other ones that I'm looking to review. You might see a review for a children's movie that you wouldn't expect from me, being honest. So, yeah. We'll talk about it in doobie.
they expect it from you.
Yeah, maybe they do. If you're on our Discord, you definitely do because I basically posted a review to our Discord last
If you've
night.
watched any of our content on YouTube at some point in the last 2 years, you've seen a poster from this franchise.
True. Yeah.
More on Patreon. All right, well, let's jump into our next film in this action-packed month of action double feature. We're talking Pacific Rim, released July 12th, 2013, directed by Guillermo del Toro, written by Guillermo del Toro and Travis Beckham. Cast includes Charlie Hunnam as Raleigh Beckett, the white bread baby face hero of the movie. Rinko Kikuchi as Mako Mori, one of the best characters in this movie, totally should have just been the lead. Idris Elba as Stacker Pentecost, one of the best named characters in this entire movie, who delivers all the terrible, cheesy 90s dialogue that this movie contains. Charlie Day as Dr. Newton Geisler, who is Charlie Day but smart. Ron Perlman as Hannibal Chow. You might have to ask why he got that name, because he is a black market dealer of kaiju brains.
Yeah.
Sam, what is Pacific Rim?
Well, it's set in the near future. Actually, it's set like a year ago, isn't it? In 2025.
2025.
Yeah. So in the year 2025, aka last year, apparently we got ravaged by a bunch of kaijus, and so we have robot jocks. They go into mechas and they fight the kaijus on behalf of us. And that's the movie. I mean, there's a kaiju fighter, and what do they call him in this movie? I don't have it in my notes.
Jaegers,
Yeah, but are they just Jaeger pilots? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is that what they call them? Yeah, Jaeger pilots. And you've got a Jaeger pilot played by Charlie Hunnam, who lost his brother and has been kind of living in hiding while all of this stuff goes on. And then he gets pulled back into the conflict, and he meets who I agree should be the main protagonist of this movie. And they decide to team up and become Jaeger pilots together again. And it's a story about letting people in, and it's about human connection, and it doesn't necessarily do all of those things well, but god damn it, it's a beautiful movie and I love it. So yeah, Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
So, okay, as we transition from Robot Jocks into Pacific Rim, I gotta mention, at one point, Stuart Gordon wanted to make a sequel to Robot Jocks.
Mm-hmm.
What was going to be the plot of Robot Jocks 2? It was going to be Achilles and Alexander teaming up in their Robot Jocks to fight aliens from outer space.
Hell yeah. But the aliens didn't come from above. They came from below.
They
Casey.
came from below. So what does Guillermo del Toro do? He just makes Robot Jocks 2.
Yeah, he does.
It's literally Robot Jocks 2. Yeah, this movie takes place, it starts in like the year, what? Like probably like 2012, 2010.
Yeah, I mean, it probably starts around the time that this movie came out. Like, yeah.
Yeah, because by the time we get to our present day in this movie, it's 2025.
Yeah.
And apparently giant kaijus have come from the ocean. There was, because of global warming and tectonic shifts in the ocean,
Rifts opened up.
These rifts opened up, and that's where these giant kaiju have been beneath the Earth's surface for millions of years. Yes, the Earth is millions of years old. In real life,
What? I thought it was only 250 years old, Casey.
in this movie and in real life. If anyone wants to fight me on it, jump in the comments. But once these kaiju come out, we realize, oh, it's not just going to be one. Like, it's not just Godzilla coming out. It's going to be multiple, and all these cities are going to get attacked. So what does the world do? We come together. We come together as one to create the Jaeger program, which we basically find out you have to have two compatible humans piloting the Jaeger, so it doesn't like overwhelm.
Yeah, because you go into the drift essentially, like it's like a mind meld thing with the machine, but it's too powerful of a connection for one person to handle. So you have a left brain and you have a right brain, and you have to be compatible. Yeah, yeah.
And that leads us to our main fighter here, Raleigh. Raleigh and his brother, Yancey.
Yancey, who definitely is like the older brother, is what I get from it. He's definitely the more like grizzled, maybe a little more world weary, and Raleigh in this opening is very much like, woo, let's do this, and he's shaking his brother awake at like 2 a.m. to go fight a kaiju.
To go fight a kaiju, yeah.
Yeah.
The movie says the deeper the bond, the deeper the bond, the better you fight. Super cheesy line.
Yeah. Look, this movie's full of that. Like, this movie is full of cheese. Here's the thing. I do think that, like, with the cheese that's in the dialogue and just the premise and, like, what this is, I do kind of wish there was more practical filmmaking on display as opposed to, like, the CGI animation. But there are moments of, like, oh, they did real things and they kind of use CG to, like, mask it a little bit. And those are the moments that I really like. Like, there's a miniature set of an office that a fist goes through at one point, and that shot looks incredible. And you realize that shot looks incredible because it was a miniature, you know, like.
Yeah. So let's talk about this lead up to this movie, both in terms of our history and the Del Toro history with it. I watched this movie in theaters when it came out in 2013, summer of 2013.
Fucking jealous. I did not see this in theaters.
Yeah. So I was a Del Toro fan by that point, and of course watching giant kaiju versus robots in the theater as a high school senior, summer after my high school senior year. 18 years old, like, yeah, of course. I'm 13 to 18-year-olds target demo for this movie.
Yeah.
And I remember liking this movie, but not loving it. And I think it's probably for many of the same reasons I still have today of like, oh, I like all the kaiju and robot fights. I think Charlie Day and Ron Perlman. I think they're the most interesting human characters in this entire thing.
I agree. I actually love Ron Perlman in this, and I wish he was in this movie more.
Yeah.
I
wish
really
that was the story. It's the most interesting part of this movie.
Yeah. And what kind of frustrates me...
I haven't watched it a whole lot since then. It's not one that like I go back to, like other Del Toros I'll consistently go back to. It's just not one of them. But yeah, what about you? What's your Pac Rim history?
So this is one that, like, I missed it in the theaters. I don't think it was in theaters where I lived for very long. Like, I don't know if this did super well at the box office. It did well enough for them to give it a sequel.
Yeah.
And that sequel was terrible. Don't watch it if you haven't. But but I remember, like, as soon as it came out on DVD and Blu-ray, like, I went to Family Video and I rented it because I was like, oh, I wanted to see this in theaters. I missed it. Like, this is the next best thing. And I liked it. I didn't love it. And I'd still say, like, I don't know if I would say I love this movie. Like, it's got flaws. There are things in it that I don't like, but I was really impressed with the sense of awe and the sense of scale that this movie has. Like, I think like what it lacks in character and dialogue and all of that, it kind of makes up for in the fact that, like, when these Jaegers come on screen, when they're getting lifted up or when they're getting put in the ocean, and like just the sense of scope and the sense of awe of like, wow, these are like giant protectors. I think it's like unmatched. I really do. Like, this is such a cool movie. The opening sequence with the kaiju attacks, like the first kaiju attack on the bridge where you just see the claw come down, fucking terrifying, you know? Like, it's so grandiose and so just like good at making you feel the scope of what this movie is, that it is hard for me to just write it off. Like, I really like so much of this movie, while acknowledging that in the script writing department, it doesn't quite have that like sense of character and theme that Del Toro's usually really good at.
Yeah.
You know?
The interesting part of this movie is that it just, in many ways, feels like a generic blockbuster.
Yeah, it does. It feels like Del Toro doing like a generic, like almost
Doing
like Del Toro doing
Del
like a
Toro
Michael Bay
doing
movie.
a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess like the reason that I gravitate towards things like Hellboy 2: The Golden Army is like there's like real emotion in that. Like, there's big spectacle in that movie, but it's all very grounded in like character moments, and this doesn't have that as much. I do.
And it doesn't go I would say the other big like blockbuster, summer blockbuster type movie Del Toro has done is Blade 2.
Yes. And
but
it's
Blade
not
2
quite
doesn't
as
jump into any
energetic as
character
that.
stuff. Blade 2 doesn't care about like, here's Blade's character arc.
Yeah. And this one wants you to care about the characters, but it's not quite good enough at making you care about the characters. It wants you to, but it doesn't give you a lot of reason to, for lack of a better term. Like, it's and I think part of that is, we've talked about Raleigh. I think in this opening scene before he loses his brother, it's the most interesting his performance is, because he's like, we're rock stars, we're doing this. Like, and there's like a swagger and a confidence that Hunnam brings to it, that like once he loses his brother, understandably, he's not that guy anymore. But there's nothing there to like, there's not a meaty enough role for him post losing his brother for him to do stuff. I am going to push back at critics who say Charlie Hunnam is a boring actor, because I do not think that's the case. I think in the right movies and the right shows, he pops. He is incredible in Sons of Anarchy. I do not care what anybody says. Like, some of the Guy Ritchie things that he's popped up in, he's so energetic and lively, and I love him. This is not one of his best roles. It's just not. And I can 100% admit that, while also saying that Mako Mori is a fucking great character, and she does get a little short-shifted. Granted, not as bad as Athena in Robot Jocks, but she doesn't get quite as much as I would have liked from her.
I think Charlie Hunnam is incredibly boring in this movie.
He can be, yeah. Like, there are very few moments of pop with him.
He's a good actor. I think he's good in other stuff. Like, he's good in other Del Toro stuff. I think he's really good in Crimson Peak.
Because we covered Crimson Peak, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure we both sung the praises of his performance in that movie. He's one of the best parts of that movie.
He's great in that movie with like other tremendous actors in that movie.
Yeah.
Here, I think it's just that the character is just not interesting.
Yeah.
Like you said, at the beginning of the movie, where he's kind of this young jock type fighter.
Yeah.
That's the most interesting part, and I kind of wish they just kept that even after his brother dies at the beginning. I kind of wish he kept that confidence and swagger, and then gets taken down a peg.
Yeah.
And has to start dealing with that loss.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's how he can relate, because
finding that swagger again, because I don't feel like he ever really does, you know?
He should have had it, lost it partway through this movie, maybe loses a fight or something. And then, Mako Mori helps him build it back up.
Yeah, that
Together.
should be the character arc. That should be the emotional story in this movie. What it does instead is it kind of shortchanges
manipulates what a character arc should be in a way. And I don't like saying that because I think Del Toro is one of the best modern directors. He's incredible.
Agreed.
I think this is easily his weakest output as a director.
You know, I told you in a text that we were texting as we were watching this, these movies. And I said, like, I actually don't think it's his worst. But then I was thinking about it and I'm like, I still really like this movie. I still like it a lot.
Yeah, I like this
and
movie.
I still put it on. I still put it on, like, as much, maybe not quite as much, but like I still put it on multiple times. Like I've watched it multiple times since it came out. But I do think it might be his weakest, if I'm being totally honest. Like there are movies that I watch less of Del Toro's, like, but yeah, I don't know.
Also, if this movie is your weakest,
oh yeah, you're sitting good.
you're doing fine for yourself, kid.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and Del Toro's a fucking national treasure. Like, we should, I mean, international treasure, honestly. We should just protect him at all costs. The day we are recording this, the Criterion art for his Frankenstein, the upcoming Frankenstein release dropped, and it looks so good. I cannot wait to have that Blu-ray on my shelf.
I just want Criterion to release an entire Del Toro collection.
Yeah, like they did with Wes Anderson. So
Blade 2 is in the Criterion collection.
Yes. 100%.
As it should be.
Yes.
Okay, I want to talk about Charlie Day and Ron Perlman. I want to talk about Dr. Newton Geisler and Hannibal Chow.
Yes.
Because I think they are the most interesting characters in this movie. We're introduced pretty early to Charlie Day, who they describe him right away. He's a kaiju groupie. He's got sleeves, tattooed sleeves of all the different real life in this world kaijus, and he's fascinated by them.
Yes, I do. Okay, so if we're talking about Charlie Day, though, I also need us to talk about Bern Gorman's character. His like. So one thing that I love about this, I forgot to look up whether or not the episode of It's Always Sunny came before or after. But Bern Gorman is just one of my favorite those guys actors. Like, he pops up in a lot. He pops up in like some Nolan movies and like just around. But he is the lead scientist in the Sunny episode where they make Charlie smarter. And I don't know which one came first, but like these two have such good chemistry, and it feels like
stupid science bitch can't make me more smarter.
Right. And what's funny is even though Charlie Day is like a colleague to him in this movie, that dynamic still kind of exists in this movie.
Like I said, he's still playing Charlie.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Charlie Kelly, but like he's playing smart Charlie Kelly from that episode.
Yeah, 100%. And like those two just have such a great, like, we all have that, like, that part. I mean, hell, you and I sometimes have that where, like, you know, we're very good friends. We do a lot of stuff together, but sometimes like one of us will do something and the other's like, the fuck are you doing? Like, and that's 100% Bern Gorman and Charlie Day in this movie. Every time they're on screen together, it cracks me up. There's a real life to their scenes, and I really like it. And that goes double for when Charlie Day goes on his little side quest and runs across Hannibal Chow, played by the immaculate Ron Perlman. No one else could play this role. Like, Ron Perlman was born to play this role, and that is why I wish he was in this movie more. Like, he walks in with his freaking kaiju, like, gold shoes and, like, his weird sunglasses and just a sense of style chomping on his, like, cigar. And when Charlie Day tells him that he has drifted with a kaiju brain, like, connected his brain to a kaiju brain, and, like Ron Perlman goes, "You didn't actually attach yourself to that thing, did you?" And Charlie Day just does the, oh, maybe I did a little bit. You goddamn moron. He just walks away.
Also, when he's there, it's Charlie Day's looking for him. He's looking for Hannibal Chow, who is this like black market dealer, because they need to get their hands on another kaiju brain. So they go to him. And it's all in Hong Kong. It looks like looks incredible.
Beautiful.
Like neon colored, looks like an anime.
Yep.
That's another positive of this movie. If Del Toro just made this as an anime, like, this would be
100%.
peak.
The thing is like, he's very clearly inspired by, like, yes, kaiju movies and mecha movies and stuff like that, but like also so much of this is like anime influenced in the way the story's told, like the way Mako's like backstory is told through flashbacks and like in the drift, and like all of that visual language that he's using in those sequences feels very anime coded, and it's really cool to see. Like, I love that he made a live action anime, but the reason the anime works is because you can like make these characters like a little more cartoony.
Yeah.
And there's not enough of that in the human cast here, especially not from Charlie Hunnam. Like, I just want him to be a little more buoyant and vibrant in this movie. You know?
Yeah, and that's why I think I latch onto, and we probably both latch onto the Charlie Day and Ron Perlman subplot, because it still feels very anime, and those two are anime characters.
They're playing anime characters. Yes, they are giving anime performances.
I mean, Hannibal Chow's name is Hannibal Chow because of his favorite fictional character and second favorite food.
Yes.
Like, that's
it's
incredible.
So good. It's so good. Also, you've obviously you watched through the credits, right? Because there's a mid-credits scene.
Is there? Is it with Charlie?
Yeah. No, it's with Ron Perlman, because you think he gets eaten.
Oh, yeah, I have watched this before.
Okay, yeah. I love it, because it's just like, it cuts to like just the dead kaiju on the ground, and like the crews are like coming around to clean up the site and everything, and all of a sudden you just zoom in and like there's a cut that's appearing on the kaiju belly, and Ron Perlman like pulls himself out, and the first thing he says is, "Where is my goddamn shoe?" It's so good. Like, it's just a little more Ron Perlman for those who think that he's not in this movie enough, which he isn't. So
he isn't.
But yeah.
But during this, they basically, Charlie, when he connects to the kaiju brain, finds out, oh no, like the ones that we've been fighting all these years, where our Jaegers have been fighting these kaiju, that's just like the
first wave.
The first wave. Like, these are they're the ones that making sure it's okay for the bigger ones to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming.
Oh God. And it is like, the nice thing
it's
is like
impending doom. I love the impending doom of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's in a way that ticking time clock, and it does it right, where it's like, oh, this bigger, badder thing is coming on the way. We got to stop it before it happens.
And there's like all this talk about them actually going to the rift where these creatures are coming from and closing that once and for all with like nuclear weapons, essentially. And I love that when the bigger monsters come through this thing and they don't stop them in time, and they're going into the cities, and there's an evacuation happening, but the evacuation has not completed. And so you've got that great scene where Hannibal Chow is like, I'm going to my personal bunker. You can, like, basically to Charlie Day, like, you can fuck off.
This thing's after you. I don't want you near me. And it is. Right. It's after Charlie.
Yeah, because their brains are connected now. And so Charlie Day like goes into this bunker with the public like a little sniveling coward. I'm like, oh, come on, dude. Like, you're putting all these people in danger. You know this. And I love the sequence in the bunker, because I think it's genuinely like, it's the most tense I feel in this whole movie. And part of it is because like, it's Charlie Day. He's a dumbass, but you don't want him to die. Like,
yeah.
But like, and the other part is like, there's a bunch of innocent people around him, and you know they are in the crosshairs of this thing because he is there. And I just love that. I love the tension that brings.
yeah, it's that sequence is one of my favorites of this movie, and it doesn't contain any robots in it.
Yeah, exactly.
That feels like a pure that's the pure kaiju movie coming out of this. Like
Yeah.
it felt like a scene from like a Godzilla film.
Oh, 100%. And I love that. Like I like when it leans into the kaiju nature of it a little more, even though like I do like the robot fights too. I mean, at one point like
it's robots come on. Yeah.
Yeah, at one point a Jaeger's using a fucking cruise liner as a goddamn like sword or a billy club. Like it's so cool. Like that yeah. Like I said, the scale of this thing is just immaculate. Like when you're following the cruise ship that the Jaeger is swinging around at the kaiju, it's fantastic. But
or during one of these fights, that's when we find out the main Jaeger, the one that that Raleigh is controlling with
Mako
Mori. We kind of jumped over like them getting compatible, and because it's not interesting.
Well, it's pretty typical like training montage stuff. Like
it literally is a training montage of like them like fighting each other Matrix style. Like, right. How does this help with robot fighting training?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Both of these movies
connecting more, yeah.
Both of these movies have that where there's like physical hand-to-hand kung fu training. I'm like, how does this help with like robot fighting?
I mean, I guess since you know how to fight, you can control the robot. Like, I don't know.
But these robots move really slow. They're not doing like roundhouse kicks and leg sweeps.
Right, yeah.
Should be.
I do appreciate all the martial arts on display and like the staff fighting and all that, but also, yeah, like it doesn't feel like none of these Jaegers have staffs. Why are they using bow staffs to fight?
They don't have staffs. What they do have, we find out, is a cool ass sword. And when that sword first comes out, it's like, oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, 100%. I do like. I mean, here's the thing too. I like the design of the kaijus. I like the design of the Jaegers. The Jaegers sometimes kind of blend together for me, but there are little differences that I appreciate.
The kaiju all blend together for me in this one.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially when we get into the third act.
Yeah, the third act
they all kind of look
the
weakest.
Same. Yeah.
At least I think our main kaiju has the big like fan.
Yeah.
In his chest. They can be different colors. Like there's a red one, there's the silver one, there's a blue one.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. The kaiju just all feel a little too samey.
Yeah. Okay. One more thing.
They should have named them like a Godzilla movie, though. I think that would have helped a lot.
Yeah,
just
like
gone
actually
full,
had.
Like, we're gonna name the. That's where you have Charlie Day start naming them.
Right. Yeah. Because he does name a couple, including the one that killed Raleigh's brother, and he's like, "Oh, that one's awesome," and he points.
Yeah, like the ones that they fought in the past. He needs to. As a character and us watching him, he needs to be naming them as the movie goes on.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I do love the when him and Ron Perlman are like they're harvesting the second kaiju brain for him to hook up to, and like they send the reconnaissance team inside the creature, and there's like a pulse going, and they're like, "What the fuck is that? This thing's dead." And the realization where it's either Ron Perlman or Charlie Day goes, "It's pregnant," and this fucking like baby kaiju comes out of the placenta and just starts eating people. It's like, oh my god, I love that moment. It makes me giddy. I love that moment so much.
Yeah, I do too. And I love like it's running out, but it still has like its umbilical cord connected.
Yeah,
and it like literally like chokes itself out.
Yep.
But then eats Ron Perlman.
Yeah. But then Ron Perlman escapes.
Yeah.
But I don't think Ron Perlman's in the sequel, which makes sense because Del Toro didn't return for the sequel, so why would Perlman? But
no.
Yeah.
But this leads us into the third act, and we haven't talked about him too much yet. We got to talk about Idris Elba's character of Stacker Pentacast. What a great movie character name. He is maybe the most cliche character in this movie, I would say.
He's the 80s macho man, like, yeah, he's the 80s macho cliche.
He's the
like,
one
that's what it is, yeah.
after Raleigh's done, he's kind of hiding out in Alaska, helping to build the Jaegers, but not fighting in them. Yep. He literally flies in on helicopter, and he's like, "You're the best of the best. You gotta come back and fight. The world needs you."
Yeah.
Type of thing.
He's always, yeah. Oh God, what? He says something along the lines of like, "There's gonna be like."
I have his final speech written down.
Oh, his final speech is amazing. There are people. Are you one of those people? I love his final speech. It is cliche ridden, but him ending with "Tonight we cancel the apocalypse." Like, I just want to fucking fist pump every time he says that. I love it. And it was in every trailer, and it got me so goddamn hyped. I fucking love his "Don't you dare come for his speech" at the end of this. I love it so much.
Listen, it's no Bill Pullman in Independence Day.
It's exactly Bill Pullman.
It's literally the same speech. It's the exact same speech. I don't know. It just feels so weird that this is in a Del Toro movie. I think that's my biggest problem with it. It feels like a Roland Emmerich movie line.
Is that bad? I mean, Roland Emmerich is great too.
I don't think it's bad, but I Del Toro's a director that I think can elevate that. He can elevate the Independence Day, the Matthew Broderick Godzilla. He can elevate those type of movies. It just feels like he just kind of wanted to make one of those movies, which I don't hate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if that's the movie he's trying to make, but I'm also like, there's so much other good stuff. Why are we throwing cheesy 90s one-liners in this? And if we're going to do that, why is Charlie Hunnam not giving any of those line deliveries?
Yeah, that's my biggest problem, is like, I feel like Charlie Hunnam doesn't get in on the 80s cheese. Like, if they would have actually like given him like some Stallone one-liners and shit like that, I would have been like, hell yeah.
This is a Hemsworth movie if there ever was one. Like, why isn't Chris Hemsworth the main character in this?
Because
like,
that's what
going full Thor
do. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't love we're canceling the apocalypse, especially because of what happens after. There's another character we have not even talked about or mentioned because they're such a non-character.
Is it the Australian blokes?
Yes. Who are these guys?
They're just other Jaeger pilots. It's a father-son Jaeger team, and they're the young hothead is a little bit of an adversary to Charlie Hunnam, but they learn mutual respect throughout the movie. And then Dad gets sidelined, and so Idris Elba and this kid are drift compatible somehow. I don't know. They haven't done any fights together.
They didn't do a training montage and fight with sticks.
The fucking the hothead needs to learn sacrifice, and Idris Elba's already dying, so it makes sense to put him in a Jaeger together because they both have to die for the movie to reach its natural conclusion of 80s and 90s action movie cliches.
I just feel like there's something there with this young hothead. Comparing him to Charlie Hunnam's character, it just is not explored at all.
Oh no, like, that's the thing. The character, like, I think the biggest issue is the way the characters interact is left very unexplored. Like, there's too many characters interacting with each other sporadically that you don't really get a sense of like how they grow and change together and in tandem with one another.
Yeah.
Like, the growth is like minuscule for everybody. And so like some of those character moments in the end aren't particularly like earned, like I don't tear up at the end of this movie. I cry at everything. I don't cry at this movie. It's a big dumb movie. Like, it is. I think you said it best. Like, we compared it to Michael Bay earlier, but actually no, this is a Roland Emmerich movie with a Del Toro filter on it. Like, that's what it is. And I think in saying that right there, that's exactly why I like this movie.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Like, that's
Even
exactly
this third
why
act,
I like
I
this.
have a little less fun in this third act than I do the Hong Kong fight that happens at the
I
end of the
agree.
second act.
I
Because now
agree.
that they're underwater, it's the two remaining Jaegers, and basically they're going to stop these bigger ones from coming out. There's a really great moment here in this, maybe my favorite like kaiju versus robot thing in this movie is the swimming kaiju, and it's coming towards the main Jaeger gypsy, and they pull out the sword and it just goes like splits it in half.
Yes.
It's so
so
cool.
good. Yeah. I will say, like, the one thing that I like about this underwater sequence, again, it has to do with like the scale, the scope of it. Like, I feel the depths of that ocean. I feel the isolation that they have down there. Like, there's no, like, I mean, I know that two of them do go up, but like, it does feel very claustrophobic down there, and it does feel like insurmountable what they are about to do. And I appreciate that, while also acknowledging that the fight itself is a little less interesting than some of the ones that we've gotten previously.
Yeah. That's the best thing Del Toro does with these robots is the scale.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned it earlier. Like, the scale of this movie is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just for us to understand how big these things are, where we are in terms of where the Jaegers are, and how small we are compared to them. It does such a great job. And there's a great moment here in the third act, and I think it's when Idris Elba basically sacrifices himself. He blows up his Jaeger, and it like sends this wave, and like water like disappears.
Yeah.
And then
like
it comes rushing back.
And I love the like dead fish that are just like flopping across the ocean floor. Like, it's such a, the first time I like watch it, not the first time, when I watched this for this podcast in particular, I noticed the fish, and not that like I hadn't before, but I was just like, oh, that's kind of weird. Why does it look like they're on dry? And then the water comes rushing back in, and I'm like, holy shit, the blast literally like displaced the ocean. That is cool as shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then Raleigh like sort of sacrifices himself, or is willing to sacrifice himself or some shit. I don't care.
But he doesn't, because he makes it up.
He makes it up. All of
yeah.
a sudden they're like, they kiss at the end, and I'm like,
They
I
don't
didn't know
kiss.
if we're,
They don't kiss.
well,
They just hug.
they're
I
about
genuinely,
to kiss.
no, I view this as completely platonic. I really do.
I don't. And I wish it was more platonic.
I mean,
I feel it needs more of it. Explicitly
Hunnam
stated that this is not a love.
Hunnam himself has explicitly stated, like, what I liked about this movie is it's about love, it's about connection, but it's not about love in a romantic way. Like, I don't think he views this as like a romantic embrace at the end. I think this is more of a, wow, we made it through this together. Like, damn, look what we did. We saved the world. I don't view it as romantic, but I get it.
The character of Raleigh, I think, is like, let's hop back in this pod and
and bone.
and bone.
Yeah. Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe Raleigh's a horn dog, but who knows? I don't know.
We don't know. We don't know enough about Raleigh. We don't know anything about Raleigh. He has a dead brother.
True. He has a dead brother, and he used to have swag.
Yeah, he's got a dead brother, and he's horny. That's all we know about him. Relatable. Yeah, I don't know. This the ending kind of just starts to fall flat in many ways for me, unfortunately. Last couple of things before we wrap up our thoughts on Pac Rim. Over 100 robots and kaiju designs were created for this movie. Of course, could not use them all, but just the fact that the Del Toro was like, let's go nuts with it.
Yep. And they did like American Idol style voting or whatever.
Yeah.
To like choose which ones were actually going to be in certain scenes, which is kind of cool.
Mako and Raleigh originally in the original script spoke different languages the entire movie, and eventually kind of learned each other's language through their connection. And I'm like, why isn't that in the movie?
That should be, because like I do feel like this movie, there are similar issues to Robot Jocks where, like, thematically, I feel like it doesn't follow through on some of this stuff, because I do feel like the movie is trying to get you to understand that, like, Raleigh and Mako are connecting, and that connection and that bond is making them better in the Jaeger. But I don't think it does enough with it to actually illustrate that point.
Yeah.
And I think that language barrier thing, like them overcoming that, would 100% have been a great indicator of that relationship. For sure.
And last, but certainly not least, we spoke about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. What's the actor's name again? I'm drawing a blank.
Burn Gorman.
Burn Gorman. He's not the only person in this movie to appear in It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
No. The director, Guillermo del Toro, would appear in not one, but 2 episodes of It's Always Sunny as part of the McPoyle clan as Pappy McPoyle.
And he's in season 18.
The new one?
He's back for season 18. Yeah. Because they posted a behind the scenes video of him and DeVito racing their scooters across the back lot.
New season drops in August.
Yeah. So you'll get more Pappy McPoyle in the new season in August, which is great. So
But yeah. I think this is the only time Charlie has ever appeared in a Del Toro project.
I believe you're right. Yeah. So
Guillermo.
My question is when is Ron Perlman showing up on Sunny?
On Sunny? Oh my god. As Hannibal Chow.
As Hannibal Chow, yeah.
That's such a Sunny name.
It really is. Oh,
all right.
God.
Well, Sam, what's your final thoughts on Pacific Rim? And how many Pappy McPoyles out of 5 are you giving it?
Like, I'm gonna slightly overrate this one. I know that it's not a solid 4 out of 5, but like it's a 4 out of 5 in my heart. I get swept up in the scope of this thing, and like while the character dynamics don't completely work for me, I just think like visually and just at times this movie is gorgeous. Like I love the Hong Kong stuff. I love everything with Ron Perlman, with Charlie Day, with Burn Gorman. Like, there's so much to love here, while also acknowledging the faults. But the faults are only enough for me to knock 1 star off of this rating. So I am 100% giving this 4 out of 5 Pappy McPoyles. And I do recommend it, but also keep in mind that it is not a perfect movie. And both mine and Casey's complaints in this episode are valid. So, Casey, what about you?
I gave this movie 3 out of 5 Pappy McPoyles. I like this movie. For me, a 3 is still a recommendation if you have not seen Pacific Rim. It just falls into generic blockbuster territory for me, which kind of hurts the movie's rating in many ways. Like, I feel like maybe if this was just a Roland Emmerich movie, I would maybe give it a higher rating. If that
this
makes
was a
sense.
Roland Emmerich movie, it'd be at like the top of my Roland Emmerich ranking.
Right.
Honestly.
I would probably give this at least a 3.5, 4 stars, maybe, if it was a Roland Emmerich movie. But the fact that it's a Del Toro movie, I don't know. It's just a weird thing to think about. I like a lot of this movie. Love everything with Charlie. Love everything with Ron Perlman. Our leads, and we spend too much time with them. There's just nothing to them, unfortunately. And the fights are cool, but I think the third act has the least amount of cool stuff in those fights. Like, I feel like the fights earlier in the movie are much cooler than what happens in the third act of the movie. Would I love to watch Del Toro come back to this world or come back to doing a kaiju movie? Absolutely. I would love to watch him just do a straight up like Toho Godzilla universe type movie.
Oh God, yeah, or like a Cthulhu, like actually give him the Cthulhu movie that he's been wanting to make
finally let
forever.
him do Call of Cthulhu, and let's get this over with. Netflix, right. You've been giving him a blank check now for however many of his last movies.
If he
let him make a Call of Cthulhu movie.
Oh my God, fuck yeah, like absolutely.
You can throw the entire Stranger Things cast in it to sell people on it. I don't care. Make
No,
the movie.
I don't want to see Millie Bobby Brown in a Guillermo del Toro movie. No.
Okay. You can throw Finn Wolfhard and Winona Ryder and
there we go.
those
like
two
them.
in it.
Yeah, I like them.
Everyone else, whatever.
Yeah. Joe Keery. You can put him in there too.
Joe Keery,
Steve,
Sean Astin, you can throw them in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But Netflix, write that blank check to Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, 100%. This is the fourth Del Toro movie we've covered on the show now. Because we did the sequel Del Toro. We did Crimson Peak. And now this.
Yeah. We're just collecting the Infinity Stones of Del Toro.
Yeah. There'll be more, because obviously, we both very clearly love Del Toro as a filmmaker, so...
Is there any Del Toros you've never seen? I've never seen Kronos or Mimic.
I haven't seen Kronos, Mimic, or Devil's Backbone. Early Del Toro is big blind spot for me.
Devil's Backbone rules.
I've heard really good things about it, so maybe we need to do an early Del Toro, because I think the earliest thing of Del Toro's I've seen is... probably Blade 2. Probably.
I mean, that's right after those three, so.
Yeah, I think that's the earliest I've seen. Which was probably my introduction to Del Toro as well. So.
And Sam obviously had no idea who he was fucking with at that point.
Yeah.
Blade 2 reference. All right, well, let's wrap up our month of action episode as we were talking some rock'em sock'em robot action with Robot Jocks and Pacific Rim. Let us know your thoughts in the comments wherever you're listening to this podcast. What is your favorite giant robot fighting movie? Did we miss one? Is there something better than Robot Jocks? Something better than Pacific Rim? Is it the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie? It could be. Ivan Ooze is a better villain than any villains in these movies.
I agree with that.
Said what I said.
Yep.
Said what I said.
All right. Well, that's the double feature. Before we get into doobie doing, should we thank our friends at Fangoria, Casey?
I think we should. Why? Right. You should tell them why at the end of this.
Yeah. Fangoria, for over 40 years, has been the leading source in horror for all things spooky, horrific, and macabre. The famed magazine is back with a vengeance each quarter with a brand new issue of Fangoria magazine, featuring interviews, retrospectives, and insight into the world of horror. We have an exclusive offer for our listeners to save 20% off their subscription to the magazine, the latest Fango merch, and so much more. You can visit shop.fangoria.com/screamsfromthebasement and use promo code screamsfromthebasement at checkout, again, to save 20% off your order. Thanks to Fangoria for helping support the show. Also, if you get the new Fangoria issue, which newsstand cover is a Bitchin' Hellraiser one that I really... I'm thinking about double dipping and getting that Hellraiser cover because it's really cool.
I think we both need a double dip on this one.
Yeah, I think we both need to double dip for a few different reasons. If you got the subscriber cover, there's a great Evil Dead Burn cover on that one with the bandsaw thing. But we are in the new issue of Fangoria in the classifieds amongst a bunch of other classifieds that are mostly just jokes and stuff, and we actually put an ad for our podcast in it. So buy the magazine and read our little thing, and maybe we'll have more as Fangoria progresses. Who knows? But it's pretty cool to see the podcast name in an issue of Fangoria. Yeah. So check it out.
Pretty crazy to read the name Screams from the Basement in a Fangoria magazine.
Yeah, 100%. It was a little surreal. Also, Casey, did you read the Onslaught piece on Wingard's
I haven't
upcoming
dove into
movie?
the magazine yet. I literally read our thing. I was selfish.
I've almost read this thing cover to cover already. The Onslaught piece has me jonesing for the new Wingard. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Onslaught has moved to the top of my most anticipated for the rest of the year. Like, that and Camp Miasma are my two, I have to see those ASAP. So, yeah. Check out Fangoria. They're great. Casey.
Yeah.
Aside from staring at our podcast name in the Fangoria magazine. What have you been doing lately?
Yeah, I'll go through these pretty quick here. The first one is something we both watched. You'll have a little more on this. Watched I Spit on Your Grave on Joe
Yes.
Bob's summer
Holy
special.
shit. Yeah. Was this a first time watch for you?
This was a first time watch.
Okay. Me too.
Yeah, I've only heard like, oh, it's gonna make you feel horrible, and yeah, it did. But also, like, I kind of think this movie's incredible.
Oh, it's great.
It is so upsetting and horrifying, but unlike Last House on the Left, I think you get that like kind of fist in the air, like good for you moment at the end of it, because you have it's a rape revenge movie, and you get your victim gets to be the hero of their own story. They don't have to have someone else do it for them, like in Last House on the Left. They get to enact all of the revenge that they want in all the horrific ways that they want. It feels like we're watching a documentary. It's just what an upsetting movie, but incredible movie.
The lack of score in this movie is used to amazing effect. Like, it makes you feel like you are watching something you 100% should not be. And like, I get it. They're like, they put a trigger warning at the start of the episode. Like, they were very clear about like what was about to happen. I will probably never watch I Spit on Your Grave again. Like, probably never gonna just throw that on any other time. It's worth watching Joe Bob's presentation of it because he analyzes it very, very like methodically and lays out the reasons that he thinks it is the best in this subgenre, and he's got some great points on that. Like, I don't know if I love I Spit on Your Grave as much as Joe Bob, but I did love hearing him talk about it. And he brought on Camille Keaton, the lead actress from it, and she was kind of great because she was like taking no shit from him.
Yeah. And I mean,
she was super
this movie's
back too.
Almost
Yeah, like
50 years old. Like, of course, she's probably heard everything about this movie and probably can be super laid back about it at this point.
Yeah, and she was great. She was a great guest. Like, obviously, they brought on Felissa Rose because there's a mangled dick in this movie.
Yeah.
And the whole presentation was just great. And the movie was horrifying, but it felt like we were getting through it together as one big mutant fam. It was a little quiet on the Discord chat just because like it's not a movie you want to really riff on.
Yeah.
As much.
If you ever want to watch Joe Bob with us, hop on our Discord. We have a Joe Bob channel where you can watch and comment along. This was not one of those movies to comment along.
No, there was a little bit of chatter, but not a ton.
Yeah. And then the rest of my list, I literally watched either Sam Raimi or Evil Dead movies. I rewatched Drag Me to Hell, which I'll be talking about on the Bear Cave of Terror podcast, which was so much fun. Thanks to Steve for having me on to talk about Drag Me to Hell, one of my favorites of that era. I freaking love that movie. Love it. I gush about it on that episode. We rewatched the original Evil Dead 2, even though I just watched Evil Dead 2 like a month ago.
It's an evergreen movie. You can pop it on anytime.
Yeah. One of, if not my favorite horror movie of all time. Evil Dead. The first Evil Dead, I think, is just one of the best pure horror movies of all time. It is so good. And then we watched those two after we had watched Evil Dead Burn in the theaters.
I'm seeing it tomorrow night. I'm so fucking pumped.
Good. Okay. I hope you love it. I like this a lot. I think it is the weakest of the series.
Okay.
But I also think it's really good too.
Yeah.
This is, I kind of describe it as the French Extreme Evil Dead movie. And
That's
I know that
what I've
might
heard,
scare you off a little. I know you're not the biggest French Extreme fan.
Yeah, but I also really liked Vanacek's last movie, Infested. So I'm kind of like on that. I don't know. I'm still very excited for it. Like everything I've heard has only made me more hyped because I'm like, love it or hate it, I know I'm gonna get something fucking visceral, and
Yeah.
I'm ready for that.
And it's really unlike any other Evil Dead movie, and I kind of love that's the route they're going with these, where it still has like certain things that you're looking for. The Necronomicon being the biggest, Deadites. It teases certain things that are in the other movies. Heck, there's an infested reference in this movie.
Is there really? Oh, I love that.
I mean, there's a spider.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's a shot of a spider. I mean, but it's very clearly like
a nod.
A nod to infested.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't know. This is for people who are like, this is such a joyless movie. It's just so mean-spirited. It has zero fun. I'm like, what movie are you watching?
I have heard that, but then I've also heard like genre fans like you and like critics that I very much find myself in line with going like, yeah, it's dark, but it is really funny.
Honestly, this has more pure humor, like audience laugh out loud humor than the last two Evil Dead movies, than Rise and Fede's movie.
Oh yeah, like Fede's movie is
Fede's
very
movie is
good.
mean.
But it is like not a comedy in the slightest.
Yeah.
Like and Rise, I know there were a lot of people that were like, "Oh, that seemed mean and humorless," but you and I were cackling through
Yes,
that movie.
same with this one. I don't think it's too dissimilar from Evil Dead Rise. And
Oh,
make
yeah,
sure
yeah.
if anyone watches this movie, please go watch it in theaters because we just want more Evil Dead movies, and you got to support Evil Dead movies in theaters to get that. There is a mid-credits and an after-credit scene. Both are must-watch.
Hell yeah. Cool.
But that's, I believe, all that I have been doing. What about you, Sam? What have you been doing?
Well, I already talked about Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Check out my thoughts on Patreon on that. It didn't work for me. Worked for Casey, so
Still
if you
the
haven't
best
seen
Evil
it
Dead
yet,
movie of the year.
make up your own mind. Oh God, I'm hoping that's not the case.
No, you will like.
I like Burn more than Mummy. Yeah. I like you. I recorded a guest spot on Bear Cave of Terror with Steve Mowry. I went a different route and picked a modern movie that became an instant favorite and talked about Hot Spring Shark Attack, which I have a Patreon review of. I've talked about on the podcast. I love this movie, but if you really want to hear me go on a deep dive about why, check out Bear Cave of Terror because it'll be coming out probably around the time yours does, within a week of yours. I in the lead up to Joe Bob's Savage Summer special, I was like, I want to watch a Joe Bob movie on the Patreon. And so I was just looking through the recent movies that they posted, and there was one that was not horror, but it sounded interesting, called The Challenge. I'm going to butcher the name because he has two first names, but it's either Glenn Scott or Scott Glenn. Do you know who I'm talking about? He's a character actor. It's Scott Glenn. And he's in like stuff like The Hunt for Red October, Backdraft. He's Jack Crawford in Silence of the Lambs, like big character actor. Yeah, that guy, right? But this is like one of his first movie roles. He didn't realize he was making a kung fu movie. This movie's kind of cool. Like, I really appreciated it. It's kind of an offbeat thing. He's a boxer who's kind of down on his luck, who gets this assignment basically to go to Japan with this ancient samurai sword and deliver it to this guy. But he finds out that this sword is actually the point of conflict between two brothers, one who is living a traditional samurai lifestyle and the other who is like a cold, stone-hearted businessman, and they have been basically waging a blood war over these two swords, and he gets caught in the middle of it and starts learning the ways of the samurai from the samurai brother and helping them along the way. Weird fucking movie. Cool as shit ending with like a great action set piece that kind of feels like it's out of a 007 movie, but it's all like kung fu and sword stuff. And some like bow and arrow stuff. Like, just a really great stuff. There's a decapitation at the end that's great. There's a head split at the end that's really great. Like there's some really surprising, shocking gore at the end of this movie. So it's worth checking out. I really liked the challenge and Joe Bob's presentation of it on. This was an old drive-in theater episode. So yeah, it was pretty fun. And then of course I watched the Savage Summer special. We already talked about I Spit on Your Grave. I did stay up for the whole thing and watch Tokyo Gore Police, which was the second movie of the night. I loved this movie. I ended up giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. This is wall to wall, just like gore gags, nonsense plot. Like, I don't know half of what actually happened in this movie, but the arterial spray alone was like, what the hell? Like, never a dull moment. There's a scene where a woman's legs and vagina inexplicably turn into an alligator and eat a fucking dude. It's crazy. Really loved it. Oh, and there's a severed dick scene. And then the guy comes back and his dick is a giant fleshy machine gun. It's like, it kind of feels straight out of a Cronenberg movie, but like upped to the 11, which is insane to say about it. Like Cronenberg's already pretty up to 11. But yeah, Tokyo Gore Police, amazing splatter movie. I really dug it. So definitely, I know you tapped out, which is understandable. God, it was so late. I was so dead on my feet on Saturday. But yeah, if you're out there and you watched the first half of Joe Bob's Savage Summer, but you didn't do the second movie, which I get, I've been there, watch it on the restream because it's worth it. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah, that might be my this Friday night watch.
Hell yeah.
I heard there was a Battlefield Baseball mentioned on.
There was a Battlefield Baseball mention. It was great. I was like, oh my God, makes me so happy. Yeah, that actually reminds me, I need to make sure my Battlefield Baseball DVD goes in my bag because Mike, I got you covered, man. You can borrow it. And the last thing I'm going to talk about, which I didn't expect to be talking about on this show, because, I mean, essentially, like, I didn't think it was going to be that much of a monster movie, but I went and saw Minions and Monsters last night. I did a little private screening at the Twin because we have it right now, and I didn't want to see it in a room full of children. So I just went at like 8:30 last night, and Maria and I went and saw Minions and Monsters. This is one of my favorite movies of the year. I'm not even kidding.
Like, is this going to make your top 10 of the year that we do on this podcast?
As of right now, I have no... If I feel like throwing a wild card in, yes. As of right now, I have no intention of putting it in my pure horror list.
I mean,
but it's
got monsters in it.
It
right?
does. It has monsters. It is a kaiju film, especially in the third act. Like, there is some great kaiju action going on. The animation in this is genuinely brilliant. They're riffing on like the silent era, like classic Hollywood stuff for the first act of this. And then it moves into like the transition to talkies and monster movies and things like that. And then the third act just goes full balls to the wall, like kaiju monsters destroying Hollywood while the minions are trying to stop them. And the whole thing, but while it's doing this, the whole thing is like a love letter to movies, movie making. Like, there's an actual plot. There are actual characters that you do, like, there are 3 minions that are kind of at the center of this that you get kind of attached to. And like, and some of the humor in this is like genuinely very clever. And the score is so freaking epic. I loved it so much. I genuinely, like, the score is one of my favorites of this year. And the animation is just like really clever. There are times where it's like animated like an old timey cartoon, or like, you know, the crank cameras where the footage feels kind of sped up, you know, like they animate certain sequences like that. And so it's just one of those movies that every scene had something new that I just really loved. And when you throw monsters into a movie, and on top of that, I have a soft spot for Despicable Me and the Minions movies. I have a Minions Rise of Gru poster literally that I'm staring at right now. Like, I'm not going to hide that fact, but I genuinely, like, I know that there are people that are going to listen to this and they're going to be like, it's a Minions movie. Fuck that. Give it a shot. Even if you wait till streaming, give it a shot because it is genuinely good. I had a great time with it. And yeah, if I'm feeling chaotic on our end of the year list, it might make my top 10. So Minions and Monsters. One of my favorites of the year. Yep. Really loved it. So that's what I've been doing.
Well, on that note, let's wrap up this Minions and Monsters podcast. Thank you all for listening to the Screams from the Basement podcast and joining us for our episode and our contribution to the month of action. Go check out all the other episodes going on this month. Yeah. I don't know what is the best way to find that? Do you know?
Probably look up the Flicks and Friends podcast because I think they've been posting.
Shared a post with everyone, all the other podcasts contributing.
Yeah, exactly. Like Flicks and Friends is kind of the hub for this. So if you look up the Flicks and Friends podcast, and again, check out their K-pop Demon Hunters episode because it's really good. Yeah, you'll be able to find the other podcasts that are participating, and you'll get to hear some great conversations about some action movies. So, yeah.
Sam, if they want to check out us, though, and they want to listen back to some of our previous episodes, how can they do so?
Well, they can subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube if you like that video component. We have new episodes every Friday. We alternate our double features and our interviews, and yeah. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave comments, that kind of stuff. Leave 5-star ratings and reviews. That stuff helps us grow as a podcast and meet more wonderful people like you that are hopefully still listening. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok for all of our other shenanigans that we're doing, including a VHS swap this Sunday at Remedy from 12 to 4. With an after party at Club David's starting at 8. Doors open for that at 7. We hope to see everybody there. We can also...
if you're in the Sioux Falls area, come party with us literally all day Sunday.
Yeah, it'll be great. Also, we can announce that we have a late night coming. It's for a bit of a sad reason. We decided to commemorate the late, great Sam Neill. The State Theater was already doing a Jurassic Park screening on Friday the 24th. We are going to follow up that Jurassic Park screening with John Carpenter's seminal classic, In the Mouth of Madness. We're very excited to bring this to the State Theater. Shout out to Mike Timmerman. I know this is like an absolute favorite of his, and I can't wait to watch it with you, Mike.
Be thankful we're doing In the Mouth of Madness. We could have subjected you all to Carnosaur.
Yes, we could have. But yeah, that's kind of some of the events we've got going on. And yeah, like I said, if you want to keep up with that, follow us on all our socials. Just search Screams from the Basement. Pretty much anywhere except for Twitter. So
fuck Twitter. All right. Well, Twitter. You can find us anywhere else besides on X or Twitter or whatever the fuck it's called. You can also find all our cool merch online. Go to our TeePublic store, link in the episode description. Check out all of our Screams from the Basement merch. And every purchase there helps support us, the Basement Boys. But the best way you can help support us is by joining our Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can help support the podcast. Cheaper than a cup of coffee. Heck, you can join our $5. Still cheaper than a cup of coffee nowadays. And you get all cool bonus podcast stuff.
Yeah. And you get to hear me tear apart Lee Cronin's The Mummy. All right. So, that's it. That's the show.
That's the pod.
So everybody, thanks for listening. Reminder, we support trans youth on this show. Fuck ICE. Get them out of our cities. Get them out of our airports. Apparently they're killing people again. I don't think they ever stopped, but yeah, get ICE the hell out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, like ugh, gross. And if you're pissed off by this, just remember that horror has always been political, always will be. So, deal with it. And thanks for tuning in, and sweet screams.
That was one hell of an action sequence, soldier. I haven't seen shooting like that since the Battle of New Hope. The month of action couldn't have done it without you. Mission accomplished.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.